Hi guys, thank you so much for being here. This is Gretchen and I need to varnish a few things. So I'm just going to do it on camera, show you what I'm doing. This is a painting. I don't know if you can see, it's from 2021. I painted this, but it's been hanging in our church and I never varnished it. So it is a super sparkly cross and I put some cool metallics in there, and then I just added tons of brush strokes. This took me a long time, but someone said it looks like people, so I don't know. I don't have a name for it, but I do love this piece. I want to protect it, so I'm going to varnish this. I just created this one. I'm going to varnish. This one will actually be in a video coming soon. So usually what I do for most of my paintings is I use a gloss varnish, but I add water. So I always mark my bottle. This is varnish and water. I do about a 50-50 ratio with distilled water. Sometimes it ends up being a 60-40, but I eyeball it. So I'm just gonna say it's 50 to 60% varnish, the other percent is water. And we'll go from there. I never shake it. I usually just kind of tilt it slightly if I haven't used it in a while, just to get it to mix a little. I have cut up pieces of t-shirt and I keep them in a bag so they're protected. I usually cut them, like to fit my hand, but these are, it's like soft t-shirt material. Usually I bang them on the table, to be honest. Sometimes they have little pills of something. I kind of look them over real good. Sometimes they don't. So that is what I use to apply. And then this here is one that's already used. So I actually reuse them quite a bit. So I'm going to get this one out. It's already wet because I varnished a few weeks ago. So it already has tons of varnish on it. You can see my gloves are wet. All right, so this is what I do. You don't have to do what I do. I'm just kind of showing you the method I like to use, because this will give it a very soft sheen. It won't be overly thick and glossy, which I don't like. Okay, so the goal is you have to do little pieces at a time. Okay, so whatever corner you start with, the next time you start in a different area. So I'll show you each time I do it. I did wipe it down with a baby wipe. I dusted it off real good. So I'm just going to get this well saturated since it's the first time I'm doing it. And I'm going to start here. And I'm just going to go in circular motion. So I'll go up to the cross so I know where I was. Always get your sides. Alright, so I did that part. Next will be this segment here. The goal here is just to get it concentrated in the areas that you're working in. All right, so I'm gonna go here. I'm not pushing down real hard. I'm just making sure that this area is completely covered. There's no dripping, there's nothing to worry about as far as bubbles or drips. Unless you do that, then you gotta get that up. It's very easy to work with this way. So the reason I do about 4 layers of this is because I don't want any of the circular motions here to, oops, I lost my little foot. I don't want the circular motions to be visible. So if you do it many layers at a time, then you won't see any marks in here. All right, so this one is done. It has one coat. I started here. I gotta remember that. I worked my way this way, this way, this way. So once this is dry, I don't know, about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, I'll come back and do the second coat. If it gets too late at night, I'll just wait until the morning and do another coat. But that is number one. I have another painting over here. I'm just gonna move my camera to show you that one. I gotta take my glove off. Okay, same idea. Since I started in that corner over there, I'm going to start in this corner. That way I'm working in the same direction, because when I come back to this, I may forget, and I don't want to have to re-watch my tape. My tape. Oh my gosh, that makes me sound old. My video. So this is the corner I'm going to start with. I usually rest my hand in a corner just to keep the whole thing from moving. So this one, I don't know if you saw the video, but this one is a pour that I did. I had a pour down here, and then I had a pour up here, and then once it dried, I tweaked it a bit, and then I created a really cool landscape on top of it. This is one of my favorites. I love this piece here. But in case you don't know, the varnish doesn't like to be overworked. So once you get it on, you have to keep moving on. You cannot do the same areas continually. Otherwise it'll get sticky and you will ruin that layer of varnish. So do one section, do the next, and just keep moving. If you do have a hot spot or an area that didn't get covered, it's going to get covered eventually because you're doing 4 layers of this. The varnish is cut with water, so it's not like you're wasting a ton of varnish. So that's one of the reasons I like to do this. All right, make sure you kind of look at different angles. If you did miss something, you really should not go back and touch it. So don't do that. Don't retouch things. When you're done with this, you put it in the bag. Okay. Squeeze it, seal it up. You'll see when I squeeze the air out, see there's varnish in there. That's a good thing because you want it to stay wet. You can probably see, well, maybe you can't. I don't know if you can see the marks. You can see my swirl marks, but I don't think you can. Oh well. So the reason I mentioned multiple coats is every time you go on, you're going to swirl in a different fashion. So this one here is just wood. It was a different color. I didn't like it. It comes with this, which will go here into it. Whoops, don't want it to go in yet. Ooh. Okay, come on out. Oh man, what is going on here? There. Okay. That's going inside of it. I'm going to use gloss varnish straight up on this. This is brand new from Michaels. I like to use the littler ones on little, but you really have to get this saturated first. So when you're varnishing, again, you have to work quick. I'm going to go with the grain. Make sure you get your sides. Oh my gosh, it's moving. Maybe these little feet aren't a good idea. I've never done a wooden cross before, so. This is probably going to take 2 coats. And I just did a very thin layer. So now this will need to dry probably a couple hours, and then I'll come back. This will go into a sandwich bag so I can keep the wetness sealed in there. And then that's it for right now. I think 2 coats will be enough. I don't want it to be super glossy, shiny. I just want coverage so it's completely sealed up. So that is the dealio. So this hole right here is for this to go inside, the spike. So I don't want that sealed up with varnish. That's a problem. There we go. Now it's stuck. Oh boy. There, okay, I got it. Alright, you guys. So that is how I varnish. I'm sorry it took so long, but if you need some help in how to varnish your paintings, I just want to show you what I do. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, you guys, I am back and ready to do my second coat. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes. So we started here, and I think I'm going to start in this corner this time. The reason you want to move around is every time you saturate your cloth here, you want to start at a different area so that those new areas get a higher concentration of that saturated cloth. You don't always want to start in one spot because then one spot will be shinier than the others. So you just kind of keep working it. Little circular motions. Paintings with texture will grab some of this varnish, and it'll help to get some of that into the newer areas. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to work that way. In the bag. Now I'm putting this on pretty fast, and it is creating some bubbles, so I'm going to torch this a little bit once I'm done. I just want to make sure there aren't tiny little bubbles everywhere. Alright, coat number 2 is on. So I am so sorry that that was so long. I just wanted to explain and show you how I do my varnishing. And if you stuck around, I just want to show you how it looks. So this is the cross that I did 2 coats of the liquid pure varnish on. So it was the gloss varnish, and it does have a really pretty look to it. But it really does have a nice sheen, and it's going to look really pretty with just the rugged iron on top of it. So that was my goal. This here is the painting that I did the water and varnish together. So this only has 3 coats, and as I was putting it on, I kept checking to see if I could find any marks from my cloth, and I didn't. Because it's already has lots of texture, I think that 3 was fine. I could do 4 coats, but I'm not going to because it's pretty well saturated. So this is done. The way I check to make sure that the thinned out varnish is actually working is I look in the detail and I find more of the matte finished paints. Some of my paints are glossy, some are not. So I find the paint that is not glossy and I make sure it looks a little glossy. So this does have a pretty decent sheen on it. You can see the sheen right there, but I think it looks great. So I'm happy with this. And then this one is actually done. Again, it's 3 coats. It has a really nice sheen to it. See, the lights are hitting it. So when you see the lights hit every part of the painting, you obviously know it's been done and it's finalized. I still have to sign the back, but I really love this painting. Super cool. Then after I did those, I did a few other paintings I wanted to show you. So this one I put the same varnish and water on. So I just kind of coated it. I did 2. Did I do 2? No, I did 3 coats on this one as well. This was a video from months and months ago. I varnished this one. So this is a gloss gel embellishment, and I did varnish this. It's very subtle, but you can see that it's there. I varnished my elephant. This black was actually a very toned down matte black. It's Mars black, but I do love that it has, again, it's a nice sheen, but it's not like an overpowering thick gloss, which is not what I wanted anyway. So that's pretty cool. And then I varnished this one as well. So again, nice coverage, just a simple sheen to it, and it doesn't have a thick coat. What I didn't mention earlier is sometimes I do use spray varnish, and I actually really like spray varnish. Let me see if I can find something I sprayed. This one. So here's a little one that I sprayed. I just did 2 coats of spray varnish on this one. It's super cute. It covers well. It has a nice gloss to it. I kind of like the gloss or semi-gloss, but I don't know. So that is my video. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate that you are watching, and if you could let me know how it goes for you, if you're going to use any of these techniques, or if you've never added water to your varnish, try it out. Again, it's a 50-50 split, or you could do 60% varnish, 40% water. Either way will work just fine. Some people do 75% varnish, 25% water, but I think the 50-50 works fine. So that's what I do. So you guys have a great day. I'll see you soon.